Is very short here. I have fairly been instructed by the program director, Dr. Elijah Luvengo, as well as the minister and the DM, to just announce the successful bidders who have actually been appointed to assist us to redesign as well as redevelop our 6 busiest land commercial ports of entry. Therefore, my task has been made simple, as the minister had already outlined the criticality of this project, the centrality towards the realization of regional economic integration. He has emphasized the centrality of this project towards the achievement of African Continental Free Trade Area. He has also emphasized the criticality of the project towards the enhancement of intra-Africa trade. Now, let's then reflect a bit in terms of the process undertaken. We want to indicate that following the publication as well as the subsequent closure of the request for proposals in search of the public-private partners for these projects in 2024, a fair, transparent, as well as competitive supply chain management process ensued during the course of 2025. To ensure process resilience as well as ensuring that we deal with the possible issues that could arise in the ecosystem, a multidisciplinary team was formed, made up of some role players from the private sector. Ernst & Young has been brought in mainly as the financial as well as the lead transaction advisor to the process. At the same time, they worked with Bowman, particularly on legal as well as public administration law advisory. They also worked with Knight Pisolt as the lead in terms of technical as well as engineering advisory to the project. In addition, Bonakude Advisory was also brought into the system separately as a probity auditor to conduct live audit as the process unfolded in order to ensure the full observance of all critical governance protocols as expressed and well articulated in the Public Financial Management Act. In addition to these private sector teams, a group of experts were also assembled from various government as well as other enterprises. In terms of the government departments, we sourced some experts from the Department of Home Affairs, but we also sourced some experts from the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. We also augmented the team from the government side with some of the critical experts from entities such as the Development Bank of Southern Africa, which effectively brought in serious experts within Infrastructure South Africa, which is mainly responsible for managing what we call Infrastructure Fund. Therefore, we had to then get the bids. Following the assessment of the submitted bids, a comprehensive value for money report was submitted to the National Treasury in order to get what we call the TA2B approval as required by Regulation 16 of the National Treasury in compliance with the provision of the Public Financial Management Act. As we speak now, negotiations with the preferred bidders of the public-private partnership agreements are actually at advanced stages. And this will be followed by the submission of the final value for money report as well as the financial liability committee report to allow National Treasury to issue what we call TA3B approval, and that will then be followed by commercial close. Following the signing of the public-private partnership agreements, the process will proceed to a financial close, after which the preferred bidders will then proceed to start with the construction work. After all these rigorous processes, all the selected preferred bidders have been found to have complied with all the requirements as set out in the published request for proposals, which was issued in 2024. And of course, on that basis, we are saying we are now able to announce the successful bidders in today's session. But before the announcement, let me also indicate that the successful bidders in this instance are in the form of a consortia, in a way, which consist of various congregated companies, which actually converged their diverse skills as well as competence to be able to tackle this particular task at hand. For it is indeed a very demanding and complicated task. Now, let's then move to then announce those particular consortia that have actually successfully put through their paperwork. As the Minister has outlined the names of the 6 ports of entry that are actually affected in this instance, let me then start with Beitbridge border post. And again, we need to just contextualize the Beitbridge border post. It is a port of entry that is located in our northern corridor. It is effectively a port that actually links South Africa to Zimbabwe. It is found in Limpopo province within Musina local municipality. That context is very much critical. The successful bidder in as far as this particular environment is called Baobab Concession. This particular concessionaire is expected to do the construction work in a phased approach for an approximated period of about 3 years. This Baobab concession is made up of a number of enterprises or companies, and for transparency purposes, we want to just indicate their names. Those are Yakani Group, Wendra Infraco, Mandla Integration, Tau Capital, Navigator Holding, as well as Baobab Community Trust. Let's then move to reflect at Libombo port of entry. This is a border that is located in our eastern corridor, fairly linking South Africa to Mozambique. It is located within Mpumalanga province, within the Nkomazi local municipality. The preferred bidder to do the work in this particular port is called Rolex Consortium. This consortia is expected to do the construction work, once again in a phased approach for an approximated period of about 3 years. The Rolex Consortia is made up of various companies as indicated. It's Lexus Development, Rubex, Entlatini Investment, Vulindlela Concession, as well as Harith General Partners. Let's then move to reflect at Oshhoek port of entry. This is a port of entry that is located in our southeastern corridor. It links South Africa to Eswatini. It is located in Mpumalanga province within the Chief Albert Lutuli local municipality. And of course, the successful bidder to do this particular port is once again Baobab Concession. In this particular port, the concessionaire is expected to do the construction work once again in a phased approach for an approximated period of 2 years. This particular concession, as it were, it is basically made up once again Yakani Group, Wendra Infra, Matla Integration, Tau Capital, Navigator Holding, as well as Baobab Community Trust. Let's then move to Maseru Bridge, a port of entry. This is the port that is located within our central corridor. It links South Africa with Lesotho. It is located in the Free State province, and that is within Mantsopa local municipality. The preferred bidder to do work in this particular port is called Korong Consortium. This particular consortium is expected to do the construction work once again in a phased approach for an approximated period of about 2 years. The Korong Consortium is made up, once again, a few companies: Mutsing Concession, Ideas Infrastructure, Crowley Concession, as well as Tebe SPV. Let's then move to reflect on Kopfontein port of entry. This is a port of entry that is located in our western corridor. It fairly links South Africa to Botswana. It is located in the northwest province. It is within Ramotsiri Muilwa local municipality. In this particular pot, the successful bidder to do the work is called Kopfontein Consortium. This particular consortium, once again, is expected to do the construction work in a phased approach for an approximated period of 2 years. And in this instance, this Kopfontein Consortium is made up of few companies, and those are Talis Property Fund, Unique Civil as well as Construction Engineers, together with SSG Facilities, and those are the companies that made up this particular consortium. Let's then look to the last port. The last port in this instance is Fixbeck, a bridge port of entry. Once again, this particular port is located within our central corridor. It links South Africa to Lesotho. It is found in the Free State province within the Setsotho local municipality. The preferred bidder to do the work in this particular port is called Imbani Consortium. Once again, this consortium is expected to do the construction work in a phased approach for an approximated period of 2 years. The Imbani Consortium is made up of few companies too, and those are Imbani Projects, Reaaga Infra Border Holdings, M&M Capital, as well as Roosed Trading and Investment. So these are the successful bidders in as far as this particular project is concerned. So on that basis, Minister and DM, please allow me to congratulate these successful bidders in their appointment to do this critical work of having to redesign and redevelop our key land commercial ports of entry. Having engaged them, obviously through the technical team led by Leslie and them, and of course understanding their profiles, as the Border Management Authority, we have full confidence in them that they will deliver on these key national infrastructure projects within our border environment. We are committed to work with them as the Border Management Authority, and we hope to have a long, fulfilling, and mutually beneficial journey with them, and we have no doubt that they will be able to hit the ground running. At this point, we want to confirm that the work is underway to finalize the application for budget for infrastructure that is described as BFI to facilitate land acquisition as well as bulk services upgrades where necessary. Now, based on the current projections, we anticipate that construction will begin later this year or early next year for some ports, with a phased rollout of the construction work for about 2 to 3 years all in all. Although engagements have started over time, we just want to confirm that within the next few weeks, we will be amplifying our conversation with all critical stakeholders around the affected ports, and that include engagement with communities, municipal leadership, traditional leaders, business chambers, freight association, as well as cross-border traders to appreciate their pressure points before construction starts. To this end, both provincial and local authorities are urged to support these successful bidders and provide them with the necessary permits that are required for the activation of the construction work. Now, during the activation of these processes, we just want to declare that requisite quarterly updates has been given to various structures. In this instance, we want to confirm that Parliament has been updated in as far as this particular work, and we have done so through the relevant portfolio committees. Mainly to the Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs, we did so to the Portfolio Committee responsible for Public Works and Infrastructure. Directors General as well as heads of public entities has been updated in as far as this particular process is concerned, and we have done that through presentations in the Border Technical Committee. In terms of the ministers, indeed they were also, or they have also been updated in as far as this particular work, and we have done that through the Interministerial Consultative Committee, as indicated, being chaired by Minister Schreiber, which is legally obligated to meet on a quarterly basis. Lastly, we also want to indicate that our interjurisdictional conversations with the affected immediate 5 neighboring countries are at advanced stages. As we speak now, Zimbabwe has already completed their construction site at Bait Bridge on their side. So effectively, they are waiting on us. In terms of Mozambique, we know that they have already appointed their construction company, and on that basis, they've been waiting for this moment so that they can link with the South African preferred bidder so that they can compare notes and start doing the work. In terms of Eswatini, they did confirm that on their side, infrastructure is ready and we must be able to start doing the work. As for Botswana and Lesotho, conversations are ongoing to make sure that we are at least able to do the alignment. As the Minister and the DMS indicated, these upgrades will allow us to implement the already delayed, sought-after one-stop border post. And this is going to be critical in the implementation of this model through a juxtaposed application of the model where we will be co-locating with our immediate land neighboring countries and be able to do this work in a better way. At the same time, we will also be able to implement at least a non-stop border post in the movement of freight, particularly working through the South African Revenue Service within the application of the authorized economic operator model. As the Minister has indicated, the OSBP bill is being finalized by the National Council of Provinces and Parliament. It will allow us to declare the port environment as a common control zone, which will enable us to implement interjurisdictional laws in that particular environment. In conclusion, it should be understood that the concessionaires or this consortia are going to be raising their financial resources for these particular projects from the commercial banks. Simply put, there is not going to be any government money that is going to be used in the construction, in the redesigning, in the redevelopment of these particular ports. These particular successful bidders will be raising money through the commercial banks. It is very much critical to emphasize that. The government will only repay them through a unitary payment model, obviously for a period that is going to be for 25 years. In other words, we are actually implementing and applying a model that is called build, operate, transfer. And this is the arrangement that is being put on the table in as far as this is concerned. In fact, given the complexities as well as the vulnerabilities around issues of supply chain management processes, this public partnership model is seen as a critical strategy to close such vulnerabilities and at the same time to make sure that we shine any opportunities for any corrupt tendencies. Once again, we congratulate all the successful bidders and we wish them well as they start this meticulous journey in upgrading the South African environment. And indeed, we shall work with them under the leadership of the Minister and the Deputy Minister within the context of the Interministerial Consultative Committee on Border Management.